Well, Patricia and Lipika, it's a real pleasure to meet you online like this and to have the opportunity of engaging in a conversation about your case, and also, more importantly, to congratulate you on winning this year's Outstanding Case Writer category in our case competitions. With your case, Kobe Influencer Marketing, Building Brand Awareness via Social Media. Congratulations. I'd like to begin by asking you to set the scene by telling us a little bit about the case and what it is about.
So the case is about Kobe, an influencer marketing company based in Singapore. And the case is set in 2019. And the protagonist of the case is Evangeline Leong, who is the CEO and the co-founder of Kobe. Now, Leong was originally working in the banking industry, but she didn't want to do that. She wanted to be an entrepreneur and she was looking for ideas. And that's when she met Jalin, her friend, and her father, Uncle Danny, who was running a noodle stall in Singapore Hawker Center, which is the equivalent of the Western food court. And Uncle Danny believed that customers who came to his noodle stall came there based on Kobe, which is a Chinese word that means word of mouth or reputation. So that kind of motivated Leong to set up her influencer marketing company with her co-founder Jalin in 2016. And initially, their startup company tried to target SMEs as their target customers. And then eventually, as they grew, they also started servicing large organizations and multinationals. So in terms of the platform, it's an AI-driven platform, and they had multiple tools and algorithms that could help companies, client companies, monitor their influencer marketing campaigns and also manage the campaigns effectively. And they also kind of shortlisted the influencers who were suitable for the campaigns. And by 2019, Leong and her team were able to rope in about more than 5,000 influencers on their platform. So that was an achievement in itself. And one of the campaigns that they worked on was for a local tea company called Gia Gia Herbal Tea, who were selling herbal tea in packaged bottles. And herbal tea is a traditional drink in Singapore and in Asia and Southeast Asia as well. And it has cooling effects on the body. And people have been drinking it for generations. But unfortunately, over the last decade, herbal tea had lost its mojo. And because the millennial generation, they liked bubble tea, which was a milk-based tea with tapioca pearls in it. And so the objective of the Gia Gia influencer campaign was to rebrand Gia Gia and make it attractive to the millennials, and rebrand herbal tea as a trendy and attractive drink for millennials. So what Leong and her team initially did was they did an ethnographic study of the millennial population in Singapore. And then they tried to come up with the content strategies that they would use for the platform. They also tried to identify the influencers who would be suitable for the campaign. They tried to identify influencers who were yoga practitioners, health enthusiasts, and those who would relate to the millennial population. So they are discussing all these strategies within the team and with the client company, and that is where the case ends, posing a question to the readers that what should be the influencer marketing strategy for Gia Gia Herbal Tea, and how can Leong make Gia Gia Herbal Tea the most talked about beverage in town?
Well, I just love the irony that a traditional product is reinvigorated by a modern, really cutting edge and growth industry in influencing. That's fantastic. What level is the case working at best for you? Is it best for undergraduate students or MBA or exec ed, or does it play across the spectrum?
Well, currently I'm actually using this case to teach both undergraduate and postgraduate level. I use the case on social media and influencer strategy in digital marketing courses. For the undergraduate students program, because they like the influencer marketing a lot, so the influencer marketing strategy exercises are very interesting, and many of them, they follow influencers, so they like it a lot. When working on the case questions, they found the case really relatable. So using the Kobe case, I managed to meet the learning objectives, such as like analyzing and assessing technological advances in digital media, and also how they affect marketers' decisions. That's very useful actually for undergraduate teaching. I also use it for the postgraduate level. We have this course, Master in Management at SMU, Singapore Management University, and I'm teaching digital marketing. So I use the Kobe case as well. It does really help to adapt to the case discussion and the exercise component. The postgraduate students looked at the role of Kobe influencer agency and how herbal tea could work well together, and found the right influencer that could help Jia connect with the millennial customers. So the case helped me deliver the course well, and it also met two learning objectives. One of them is analyzing the business challenges of developing integrated digital marketing strategies. And another one is to apply the principles of effective digital marketing tools to develop integrated strategy for marketing campaign. At the moment, I'm teaching an MBA consumer behavior course in the summer. So I have developed a case discussion questions and topic about Jiajia's influencer marketing strategy for the topic of reference group influence. My MBA students examined how a culture-specific product, such as Jiajia herbal tea, had benefited from adopting an influencer strategy to create reference group influence. So it's a very good example to learn group influence and culture as well. These two are the key topics in consumer behavior. The case study that we use helped me to deliver what we're supposed to do and also met two learning objectives. And one of these is to evaluate social and cultural implications of marketing actions on consumer behavior. And another one is to develop appropriate marketing strategies to influence consumer behavior, how to achieve business goals as well. So it really works well to use the case in both undergraduate and also postgraduate level, especially in MBA as well. So the case, I like it a lot.
So you mentioned learning objectives and how well the case delivers them a couple of times in your answer. Did you start with the case scenario and be attracted to it and then develop learning objectives coming out of that? Or did you start with the learning objectives and look for a case and the scenario that would deliver those? Tell us a little bit about the writing process.
Because I am an educator, I'm teaching myself. So I always look at the learning objectives, and it's kind of like, it's already there. When I have this partner, Kobe, and actually I got to know them randomly, and immediately I was thinking that, hey, this is like a really nice story to tell. And in the meantime, because I am teaching, I have all these learning objectives in mind that I have to achieve it. So it's like, it just come together naturally. I can't really tell that which one comes first because it's just so natural. And I spoke to Lipika, she gave very good advice. Okay, right, let's work on this, yes.
In terms of the processes that we follow at Center for Management Practice, Singapore Management University, we have a very iterative process. So we have the first phase where we kind of list down we work with the faculty and try to understand what are the learning objectives that need to be achieved. And then we kind of get in contact with the client organization on whom we are writing the case. And then we do multiple interviews. We try to not do more than 1 or 2 interviews, because what happens is that if you have multiple interviews, all the interviewees tend to give you the same kind of information. So then it becomes very difficult when you're writing the case to kind of have all that information in and then get it reviewed by each of those multiple interviewees. It becomes a very long drawn process. So we try to limit our interviews to 1 or 2 interviews. And then we have lots of discussions with companies across departments to make sure we have captured the entire picture. And in terms of writing the case, we first conduct interviews, discussions with the companies, and try to gather as much information as we can. And then we sit down and organize the information that we have collected in terms of what needs to be included, what is not so relevant, and we try to map it to the learning objectives as well. And then we have several rounds of reviews at our end to revise and fine-tune the case study further before sending it to the company for approval. And then, of course, the final stage is where we test it in the classrooms. The faculty tests it in the classroom, sees how the students' reaction is to the classroom, how well it was accepted, how well it worked, what other things that can be further added to the case to make it much more usable in the classroom. And then we further fine-tune the case and the teaching note based on those on that information that we have collected from our test in the classroom. And then we have another set of reviews at our end before we publish the case. So that's the general process of the case writing.
Well, it certainly worked, and the case is really strong. It's an excellent piece of work. Congratulations again on behalf of all the judges. We all found it a really standout case and a standout winner for us this year. Just finally, I wonder, have you had any reaction from teachers adopting the case to use in their own classroom?
Okay, yes. Well, randomly that, we do have colleagues that use our cases because we develop SMU cases for teaching. This influencer marketing is a topic very close to the heart of the younger generation, the millennials. They are our students. So usually the response is like, okay, that is fun to talk about it. And they can relate it to daily life, especially when we bring in, the background about actually how the AI technology is used. Because in the case there, that the case is about AI-driven platform, that how clients now can use it to develop strategies so as to find a good fit between the influencer and the brand. So this is a very interesting part because this company, this agency, Kobe Influencer Agency, is in Singapore. And in fact, I invited the founder, the Leon Yuan, to come over to, speak to the students, and she conducted live demo. So that was like, wow, that what is in the case, I get to see it face to face. And they run the program to show it in just minutes, maybe less than 1 minute. The whole list of influencers would be shown on the screen, and the students get to see this so that they are inspired and they realize this, that what they are learning in the case, it really, is relevant. The best part, I think, to me is that because these people are going into the industry, so they can actually really apply what they learned in the case. And when they go out to work and know, oh yeah, I have done a case about influencer marketing, I get to know that how agency works with the clients, because the case itself, as Lipika mentioned, that we went through a different process, the stages to identify the way to fine-tune this. And we realized that the angle of elaborating on this to cover the agency and also the client side is pretty unique, that usually many cases will tell the story from one side, but we try to tell the story from both aspects. And the student find this that is interesting because at one point I can talk about like MBA class. I want to tell them that, okay, now you are engaging an agency. How do you work with the agency? You can also pretend that you are working in an agency and you deal with the clients. So it's rather flexible for the instructor to decide, okay, what angle I want to use to deliver, the teaching objectives through the case. It educates the needs of different classes and also different instructors' desire to use the case. That's the part that we like it a lot ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you very much, both of you, for being so open in sharing insights into how you came to write such a fantastic case. I'm sure it will be a popular case for many years to come. And congratulations again on winning this award.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.